Do you want to get food while listening to music in your computer? Are you tired of tangled and broken wires? Well, fear not, because our group is about to present to you what we call Bluetooth audio technology. May we call on Roymaxson for the introduction.
Uh, Hello there. My name is Roymaxson. I'll be talking about the phonographs, where it all began. The phonograph was Thomas Edison's invention. This device allowed people to listen to music in the comfort of their own homes and could also be bought and sold. Eventually, phonographs evolved and took on different forms, eventually shifting from the cylinder shape to flat disc and turning into what was known as vinyl. Vinyls around allowed multiple audios to be stored in one record and continued to be the most dominant form of recording format for most of the 20th century. Eventually, new technology was introduced called the RCA magnetic tape or the cassette tape. Although this didn't have much change to offer, it was smaller, thus more portable. Being able to store audio in such a small device inspired a series of innovations such as Sony's Walkman, which was essentially a small music player that came with a headset. With the coming of the digital era, sharing music over the internet gave rise to new technology. iPods, modern earphones, headsets, speakers, etc. These continued to evolve to what we now have, wireless audio devices. Over the years, products in the audio industry have expanded as quickly as wireless devices. We've progressed from phonographs and cassette tapes to a plethora of wireless audio devices that let us listen to any recorded audio from the comfort of our own chairs. Although wireless audio devices have a reputation for putting convenience ahead of sound quality, it has evolved to produce exceptional sound quality while maintaining the simplicity of use, connectivity, and creative designs that made them so popular. For this presentation, we'll be focusing on Bluetooth. We'll be covering everything from its brief history, how it works, and the implementation of the technology. I'd like to pass it on to Steven, who will talk about Bluetooth's brief history.
Roxanne. Now for the brief history. Bluetooth is a short-range wireless technology that allows mobile devices to exchange data utilizing radio waves. It has now become a technological standard for almost every mobile device we see today. Things like mobile phones, wireless earpods, laptops, speakers, and many more can now use Bluetooth. It was first developed in 1998 by the Bluetooth Special Interest Group and later released in 1999 along with the Sony Ericsson T39, which is the first mobile device to have Bluetooth. Although at the time, the version of Bluetooth 1.0, was fairly limited to only speech, as it suffered from slow data transfer, meaning at the time, it couldn't transfer music data fast enough, unlike what we have now in the present. Over the years, Bluetooth has slowly developed more in improving the range, the rate of the transferring data, and energy consumption. It also now utilizes a variety of audio codecs to efficiently send and receive audio data between devices, improving the overall sound quality. That is all for the brief history, and I would like to pass this to the next speaker, Rayvhen, in which he would explain how Bluetooth audio technology works.
Hello everyone, this is Rayvhen Miko Rosima. Today, we're gonna explain how the whole shebang works. Bluetooth is, well, it's one big whole conundrum. So, well, someone's gotta explain it somehow, right? So, imagine you're this guy. He bought a new set of AirPods. It's like, oh, bro, I got some new AirPods, bro, and he kind of needs to pair it with his iPhone 13. So again, this is a good way on how to measure how it works. So basically, the guy needs to do what our pirate chong dude bro needs to do is it needs to pair with each other. So with this, the bonding has been set, and well, that's how the whole pairing happens. It's literally like one sentence, guys. But again, it complicates even more than that, because what if Parchong dude bro, it's his first time getting AirPods, and he has to pair it with his new phone. well, sometimes it doesn't really work that way where you directly connect it and it doesn't really get the information that it needs. Sometimes it needs some authentication. So, with that being said, though, authentication is super important because, again, two devices must be connected to each other as well as trust each other's data. And, well, you kind of need to exchange that through encryption. So, with that being said, again, kailangan niyang ilagay yung Bluetooth pairing request. So, it's gonna say, hey, I kind of need to pair with your phone, by the way, because this is an indication that this is the actual owner of the phone. So once you click pair, it would pair with each other, and well, that's the whole process for how it works. So again, it's not really that hard to understand, but there's a lot of stuff that you kind of need to take note of, and one of which is how it kind of needs to connect each other's devices. So one of which is Piconet. So Piconet, to quote on the legendary Steve Jobs, it's like slavery, but for Bluetooth devices. He didn't really say that. I did, but again, it's okay to know that one of our greatest inventors of smartphones did die happily, and well, there's a lot of Bluetooth within the bounds of Apple. So again, it's Piconet is a ad hoc network that links a wireless group of devices using Bluetooth technology protocol. So if you guys don't know how that works, because it's all mumbo jumbo here, in the CCS world, let me explain to you through another convoluted example. Imagine Caesar, big guy, burly guy. He kind of made a triumvirate for Rome, and he has four soldiers, But now one of which they have other roles. So what if the soldier in the left maybe is a cook, the one in the bottom is a painter, the one in the right is probably a lyricist, and the other guy in the top is like a poet. So Caesar can command all of them, and that's how like the slave master thing bonding works, and that's how Piconet works basically. So if Caesar can manage to make these two work together, well, they could make one big formation, and well, it's gonna be really cool to see them do a testudo formation, or well, a turtle formation as you see in the screen. But again, if we move it back a notch, and we'll fast forward a few 1,000 years later, Piconet basically is when you have a master device, which is your laptop, your phone, or any other device that you control, and you could connect it with any other device that supports Bluetooth. So a digital camera, a cell phone, a printer, your mouse, your keyboard, your earphones, your headphones, anything that has Bluetooth on it, that will be your slave. It's kind of weird to say it, but again, you have to act it as your slave for the moment. So again, once it connects to the master can control what the slaves would do, and it would function like the one a while ago, the one with Caesar as well. So that's how Piconet works. And again, let's talk about something else, codec, because we have already talked about connecting devices. Let's talk about the audio side of things. Again, I do want to take note that I'm not an audiophile, and sometimes we kind of need to make things work. So let's talk about codec. So it's basically the stream of data from your Bluetooth device to your main device, and there are a lot of types. Let's check out one of them. It's aptX. This is very, very old, 80s technology. Go figure, right? Even though the first Bluetooth device was discovered, was presented at 2001, the technology was already there before. The only problem was, well, they couldn't really use it because it was still prehistoric back then. So using both compression and decompression of audio, it reduces a lot of latency, which means you could hear the music the moment it plays on your device. It's really one of the most popular consumer codecs there right now, and especially in MP3s back then, where you're kind of stuck there using your wired earphones, which again is barbaric, but well, sometimes we do have to take note of that someday. So again, there's a bigger brother of the aptX. It's aptX HD. It's the better aptX, and it has a little bit of everything. It's better than aptX in a lot of ways, and again, we do have to take note that this aptX is the one that most Samsung devices use. So we'll take a note about that in later slides though. But again, let's talk about something else. Sub-band coding. This thing is so ancient, is more ancient than aptX. Do not use it. I'm telling you this right now. Whoever you are looking at you right now, please don't use this. There's a reason why nobody uses it anymore, even though it's one of the more default audio codecs for almost all of the devices. But there's a reason why it's default. It's not even a selling point anymore. Because if you look at this table, look at the latency. It's like what are you trying to say? You're like kicking a soccer ball, but then you don't get to hit the soccer ball, and then now it went to the other side. That's basically how SBC works. Again, don't use SBC. I'll just tell you this right now. But there's a lot of uses for it still, but we'll talk about that later. So advanced audio coding, this is the one for the Apple enthusiasts. So all of the Pirate Chong Dude bros will probably buy this. Will probably use this type of codec as well. It's MP3 quality, but the transfer rate is kind of capped though. So now there's a lingering problem between transfer rate quality and the actual quality of the thing. So now again with that, because of AAC, it consumes a lot of power. So if you notice all of your iPhones, your all of your Apple devices, well, it kind of just your battery kind of just drowns in the drain. And well, there's a big debate between AAC and aptX HD, because if you look at it closely, AAC is for iPhone and aptX HD is for Samsung. So it's one big debate. Let's move on to the next one, LDAC. There's no abbreviation for it. I don't know why, but it's new as hell. It has a 990 kbps transfer rate, which is very, very unheard of. But well, it's more unheard of because nobody rarely uses it. This is only used in developer mode for some devices, and that's if you have devices that actually run it. LHAC, or low latency high definition audio codec. Well, this is one of the more newer codecs down in the block, and well, this is the one that gamers mostly use. It's also new. It has 900 kbps transfer rate. It has low latency, and probably used in the gaming environment because sometimes you kind of need good audio for you to win games. And well, I'm not really sponsoring, but everyone probably has some headsets right here. So good on you guys. So I do like to note on codec though. Pick anything that isn't SBC. I'll show you this table again, but I do want to implore you guys, do not use SBC anymore. So with that, that's how audio works. That's how audio Bluetooth technology works. I'll put it to Dean so he could talk about the implementation of the technology nowadays.
Thank you, Rayvhen. For the implementation of technology, we'll first talk about the obvious examples of Bluetooth audio, which are the commonplace audio devices such as headsets and earphones. These devices traditionally have wires, but the hassle of wires and the novelty of wireless connectivity led to the popularity of wireless headsets and earphones. So first, we have the SteelSeries Arctis 9X as an example, which provides Bluetooth connectivity to the phone and can even connect to the Xbox at the same time. And now we have also the Apple AirPods, which was mentioned by Rayvhen. And I would like to debunk a myth that AirPods do not use Bluetooth. They do. They actually do. But they just use a different codec or protocol in order to connect to the actual iOS devices or Apple environment much faster compared to other devices such as Android. So next, we also have the Lavanda S2, which is a combination of both. So it's pretty much like a wired earphone, but it's wireless, so that you can still have the experience of having wired earphones while having Bluetooth connectivity. Next is speakers such as these portable speakers. Next is for home audio systems as well as car stereo systems, which allow you to connect to the phone through Bluetooth. And last, we have the karaoke, which is now trending, which you can actually play and sing songs by just connecting it to your phone. Next, for the benefits of Bluetooth, we have wireless. So of course, it's wireless. Most people want to use wireless now instead of wired. Next is fast, because it connects to much faster than when using Wi-Fi connectivity. And last, it's battery saving. So battery saving means that it spends a low amount of energy while still providing a lot of service um, to the devices. And for that, we thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot about Bluetooth audio technology. Thank you.